Okay, so thank you for being here, Todd Smith, Minister of Energy of Ontario. Thank you for visiting the Net Zero Nuclear Pavilion. So, this is your first COP, correct?
This is my first COP.
Okay, Todd, what do you think about, what are your hopes and your expectations out of this COP28?
Canada's a Tier 1 nuclear nation. We're a leader when it comes to nuclear technology. We have been for many, many years.
Yes.
And we've been able to do multi-billion-dollar projects, particularly over the last number of years, far ahead of schedule and on time and on budget, which is really, really important for decision makers around the world. So it's important for me as the Minister of Energy in Ontario and Canada to talk about the success that we've been having and ensure decision makers from other countries that it makes sense to move in nuclear. There are countries and jurisdictions and professionals in our country, in Canada, that can help with their goals, whether it be reducing emissions or energy security or energy autonomy. Yeah, Canada can be the answer.
Okay, so basically you are here, one of the reasons you are here is to make sure that the very successful example that we have in Ontario and Canada can be used by other countries and other jurisdictions. I like that plan. So again, this is your first COP, but what do you think of this type of gatherings? What is the value of bringing all these, thousands of people together to talk about climate change?
Yeah, I think it's very important. You meet people that you wouldn't normally meet in your country. Now, I do meet a lot of people from jurisdictions at my office in Toronto who are interested in the small modular technology that we've embarked on in Ontario. We're going to be the first to deploy an SMR in the G7 at the Darlington OPG, Ontario Power Generation site, in late 28, early 29, but not everybody knows about that. So, it's really important, particularly for jurisdictions that aren't nuclear jurisdictions yet. They may be a country or a state that doesn't have nuclear, that there are countries out there that can help them achieve their goals, and we've run into people from all around the world here at COP28.
That's for sure. This is a truly global village, and it's fabulous to see the different point of views and the different needs, right? Because this is I think it's very important that obviously in Canada, in Europe, in the United States, we have, as you say, these priorities of decarbonization and energy security. But then you find people from Africa or Southeast Asia, which of course their priorities may be a little bit different. They really need more energy. Decarbonization, okay, energy security, okay, but energy, that's what they need. So let me ask you this. Obviously, you just mentioned a few things that Canada, Ontario is already doing. Clearly you talk about the refurbishment projects, the decades of abundant, affordable, zero carbon, 24/7 electricity that you have had in Ontario, and you talk a little bit about the small modular reactors and new reactors. So what specifically is your office, your team doing to support with all those big projects and big objectives?
Yeah, so we're working towards net zero. We're working towards having an emissions-free grid, but at the same time, Ontario is really growing fast. You're seeing that in countries around the world where they're also growing or developing, but in Ontario, we're seeing tremendous growth in the electric vehicle, EV battery sector, electric arc furnaces and green steel making processes, eliminating coal from that process. And we've identified through our system operator that we're going to need at least 18 gigawatts of new nuclear. That's on top of the 18 CANDU reactors that we have operating in Ontario now. So we're going to need to build a lot more emissions-free generation, and the best way to do that is baseload nuclear, and we're doing that through not one but 4 small modular reactors. We've chosen the BWRX 300, which is a boiling water reactor from GE Hitachi, which is going into the Darlington site, but we're not going to build one there, we're going to build 4. We've committed to building 4. At the same time, we have the world's largest operating nuclear facility at Bruce Power, on the west side of Ontario, and we've started pre-development work, and the request for information is actually out now for an additional 4,800 megawatts at that site, which already produces almost 7,000 megawatts of electricity each and every day that Ontario can depend on. So we're moving towards building big and small in Ontario, and working with our regulator, the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission, to make sure that we have a framework for siting small modular reactors across our province to help meet the growing demand of electricity that we're seeing.
That's good. No, I mean, I agree with you that Canada and Ontario in particular, you have a very, very long vision when it comes to energy planning in general, and obviously nuclear energy planning in particular. And I think that long-term visibility is very helpful for everybody to invest in nuclear and to plan ahead all these very large infrastructure investments. So very good. So last question.
Yes.
So as you know, Canada was there. We on Saturday we had 22 countries, Canada being one of them, that endorsed this goal of tripling nuclear power capacity at a global level by 2050. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely necessary. Congratulations to the World Nuclear Association for the work that you're doing to share the testimonies of countries like Canada and jurisdictions like Ontario that have had huge successes in eliminating coal-fired generation. We wouldn't have been able to eliminate coal-fired generation in Ontario 9 years ago if it wasn't for our investment in nuclear and the refurbishments of our nuclear, and now the development of new nuclear in our jurisdiction. But there are many other jurisdictions around the world that have signed on to this pledge that can work together. And I think it's really, really important not to reinvent the wheel. We can all learn from each other's experiences when it comes to nuclear as well, to make sure that every country that's looking to advance nuclear in their jurisdiction has a successful experience. And yeah, these are big projects, but they provide a lot of electricity that's dependable, 24/7, emissions-free, can employ a lot of people. This is just a good investment for jurisdictions around the world.
Exactly. I mean, and you said it is not just the energy, which is plenty important, but it's the jobs, and it is the socio-economic trickle down, and the industrial catalyst that all that energy brings. So very good. Well, Todd, thank you very much for visiting us at COP28 here in Dubai in the Net Zero Nuclear Pavilion. Thank you.
Thank you, Sama. Thank you for your work.
Yep.